There are two primary principles to goal setting, and they are these. Number one and number two. And number one, let's go there first. Obviously, it's number one. It's to increase motivation. Okay, and we're going to talk, if you haven't studied them already, we're going to talk quite a bit about motivation in the lessons that surround this, but we want to increase motivation by setting appropriate goals. Secondly, it's not just about increasing motivation, it's about directing motivation. So motivation towards what drive? Goal setting will make sure, or good goal setting will make sure that whatever the person is motivated towards, that drive to achieve something, will be directed appropriately to something which is worthwhile and impacting, let's say, on the performance. Now, we have a methodology of actually setting goals, and it's called SMARTER. The S of SMARTER, I went to write SMARTER there, is what we call specific. Now, when we set specific goals, we are talking here about goals that are specific to the age, to the gender, to the sport, to the injury history, to the could be to the position or the role that the person does in their sport. It could be to a body part. We want to make sure that the training that we establish for ourselves and for others is specific to that individual and what that individual wants to achieve. Now, secondly, the M of our SMART, there you see the idea, is what we call measurable. Making goals measurable is absolutely critical, and goals become measurable when they are objective. When at the end of, let's say, a fitness training program, we can say a yes or a no. We failed or we achieved. It's ultimately a binary outcome. So think back to things like our fitness test results. If we then say we're going to aim to improve by a certain percentage within a certain unit of time, more of which in a second, we can be absolutely clear whether that measurement has been achieved or not. So this is numerical, quantitative, objective data, whether we did it or not. Fitness test results are a really wonderful example. Let's look at our A. Let me do that a little bit bigger. It's a bit small in comparison to my, I'm not even sure that's any better, but this is what we call achievable. Our goal must be within reach. If we set a goal that someone's never going to achieve, then of course they're not going to be motivated. Within reach, but challenging. Okay, they must be challenging. Can't be easy, otherwise there's no point. That leads me on to our next one, which is R. The goal must be realistic. Okay, it must be realistic, and I'm simply going to say C above. But also, we must take into account how long this person's got to go and achieve that thing. So we don't want it to be super long. We don't want it to be unrealistically short. Let's go a touch further. Let's now look at our T. T is what we call time-related. Okay, time-related. And what we're saying here with a time-related goal is it must finish, or the program must finish at a set moment. Okay, so often a fitness training aim or goal will be for something like 6 to 12 weeks, and it must finish in that 6 to 12 weeks so we can measure, did we achieve it or not? Penultimately, our goal must be E, and by E we are talking about the goal must be exciting. It must be something that the athlete wants. It must be done in a way that is stimulating, that is motivational, extrinsically motivating, because it's interesting, they want to go and achieve it. Now, the fact that we're going to set a good goal probably is quite exciting in and of itself. And finally, we're going to do our second R, and our second R is recorded, or actually, I think the exam board would want us to tell you recordable. So this is often in a training diary. So we put it down in a training diary. It could be a blog, it could be on a wall chart, it could be on a poster that we keep in the changing room, whatever, but it must be recorded. The other thing I would say about this is it must be recorded and agreed, and I would say agreed with the coach or the trainer is really, really important. Now, before we finish this off, I just want to acknowledge a couple of things. That first thing is that we have different length goals. Now, short-term goals are something that are super, super common. We often have them even with individual training periods, but they're set over a short period of time. So we've got a period of time that they're measured by, that sort of time-related aspect up above. So we've got a period of time, and they will tend to be 1 day to 30 days, okay? And that's what we mean by a short-term goal. In other areas of studies, we sometimes call these mesocycles, but that's a whole other story. We don't need to worry about that here. We've also got long-term goals, or sometimes we call these outcome goals. Long-term goals. Now, these ones are probably your 1 day to 30 days, probably going to be like your fitness test type results. But this is like your ultimate achievement. What is it you're doing all of this for? Is it for the medal, for the promotion, to make the first team, to get selected to the national school, whatever it happens to be? And it will be, your goal will be to find the best way of doing this, the best way of doing it. Hopefully that will be a fair and reasonable way of doing it. And effectively our short-term goals, they lead us to that long-term goal. Okay, so if we get this goal setting process right, if we do that, we will find that our motivation will increase and we will be directed towards that goal better. And the overall outcome of that is that our athletes, maybe it's us ourselves, we maintain focus on that which we've accurately targeted, and that's the aim of goal setting. Thank you.